Hola, bonjour, nin hao, and hello. Have you ever been curious to travel with students and teach? You may know what it's like to teach a course on campus, but what would it look like to teach that same course, or a new one, in another country? Faculty-led programs are UC credit-bearing courses with a travel component to destinations outside the United States. The majority of UC students who study abroad study on faculty-led programs. As potential leaders of study abroad, you will be a tremendous influence on creating safe, fun, and academically sound programs overseas. But like any academic program, there are many considerations to take into account. What term is best for your program? What will the academic content focus on? What do you have to consider to make a sound program budget? With this presentation, we explore faculty-led study abroad programming at UC, from conception, development, logistical considerations, and eventual return to campus. This guide provides practical tools for managing a program. We hope to inspire you to lead your own program, but also give an accurate picture of programming that requires a lot of work, but also produces transformative experiences for students and faculty alike. UC International is the central study abroad office at the University of Cincinnati. While some departments, such as Business and Honors, house their own study abroad staff, we are responsible for all credit-bearing international experiences for students. Our study abroad team is dedicated to the transformation students and program leaders have on study abroad experiences. If you lead a program, you will likely work very closely with one of these smiling faces to craft a program that is safe for you and students, and also honors your academic vision for the course. Within the last 10 years, UC has seen tremendous growth in students completing experiences abroad. In the 2010-2011 academic year, 869 students studied abroad. By the 2017-2018 academic year, some 1,816 students studied in other countries. 1,367 of those students participated in faculty-led programming. UC students want to travel and learn abroad, and as a leader of a faculty-led program, you can have tremendous opportunity to shape their UC academic experience and cultivate student professional and personal growth. Faculty routinely tout these experiences as a highlight of their teaching career. We have four main types of study abroad experiences, including faculty-led, exchange, partner-provider, and internships and co-ops. For your purposes, faculty-led will be of most interest, so we will focus our efforts on learning more about faculty-led experiences at UC. Typically, the travel portion of your course will be less than 8 weeks, but the majority of program travels for 1 to 3 weeks. They are a UC course, so students do not have to transfer their credits for your program. Students register for it like they would any UC class. The travel portion of the course typically happens right before a semester, after a semester, or over a break. In addition to supporting faculty-led and semester-long study abroad, our office also provides services for international students. Students who come to the U.S. to study for a semester or earn a whole degree. They are here at UC studying abroad. Why would you also need to know this? Sometimes students on your program will have non-U.S. passports, which means they may need additional visas and/or permissions to re-enter the United States after your program completion. As a centralized study abroad office at UC, we provide a wide range of support to study abroad leaders and their programs. As you begin to construct your program, we can assist in constructing a reasonable itinerary. Does it make sense to visit 4 different cities in Germany in only 3 days? Possibly, but probably not. Is there enough structure time but also enough free time to allow students to explore on their own, and so you can also rest? We can offer you best practices. UC International runs roughly 80 programs a year. We have a knowledge base that can help inform what will likely work best for your program. We can offer suggestions for ways to market, recruit, and select participants from your applicant pool. We can help manage the admissions process and manage the budget, student payments, and payments to necessary vendors. Please note, some departments prefer to manage their study abroad program budgets in-house. We host a mandatory pre-departure session with general health, safety, and contact information for every student going abroad for credit. And we provide support and resources for processing visas if needed for that country of travel. Now that you have a sense of who we are, let's discuss why you would want to lead a study abroad course and your role as program leader. It's a unique student experience. Application of theories and practices outside the classroom can really help to strengthen course outcomes for students. You can interact with students outside the classroom, and teaching an academic course abroad is professional development. It can improve your teaching pedagogy, be a boost during the tenure process, and strengthen the CV. There are many more reasons to want to lead, and we hope you articulate them clearly with yourself and your program manager. Clear reasons for wanting to lead a program can better inform program design. With your own goals in mind for why you would want to lead a study abroad, let's take a look at the expectations of program leaders. Your responsibilities as a leader are wider in scope than a course that only meets on UC's campus and can include creating a study abroad course syllabus and a detailed itinerary for travel. Though UC International does offer suggestions, you are mainly responsible for recruiting, advertising, interviewing, and selecting participants for your course. How you market and recruit and who you select to travel in your program can have a profound effect on the success of your course. As a leader, it's important to understand your students. Knowing health issues, citizenship, and student personal concerns with traveling can better inform how and what support you provide students in your class. Remember, many UC students have never been on a plane and or left the Buckeye State. It's your responsibility to help them navigate these potentially new experiences. And though UC International provides a mandatory overall orientation that gives an overview of what it means to travel, it is the faculty's responsibility to orient students before travel and in country about the specific destinations you are traveling to. What is the history of the country? Weather, geography, social etiquette, and customs. Remember, the more familiar you are with the country you are traveling to, the bigger your blind spots to cultural differences. What seems understood and ordinary to you may be unfamiliar for students. It is the responsibility of the faculty to identify suitable third-party providers. Though UC International is happy to point you in the right direction. Third-party providers are organizations that help to coordinate in-country programming, included but not limited to flights, transportation, lodging, reservations. These organizations work with you to customize your program to fit your practical needs and academic vision. In addition, they offer an additional layer of in-country support with guides, local contacts, and country knowledge to assist you in case a student gets sick, the group's bus is late, or any other issues that can naturally arise during travel. Remember, while abroad, you're not just an instructor, you're also a chaperone, logistics coordinator, and guide. Wear your many hats and be flexible in order to give students the experience you envision. For a successful program, extensive pre-planning and organization is required. We recommend that you start planning at least 12 months before your intended travel dates. It may seem overwhelming at first, but UC International Study Abroad is here to help you make your program development manageable and successful. Designing your course will focus on 3 areas: academic, financial, and logistical. Where should you go? A destination that you are knowledgeable about, from, visited, or lived is a great place to start to think about where you will travel. Keep in mind, some faculty do take students to countries they are less familiar with. They just have to prepare even more. Make sure your course content is appropriate for your intended destination. Is Tokyo the best place to study the rainforest? Also, make sure your destination has the on-the-ground support, whether it's a third-party provider and your own network of contacts. Also, keep in mind the safety and risk issues of the location. Per UC International's travel advisory policy, you may not travel to a location with a State Department rating of 4, and in most cases, you may not travel with a level of 3. Now that you have a handle on goals and expectations, what does it actually mean to build a study abroad course? What considerations need to be accounted for to ensure you and students benefit the most from an international experience? Your syllabus will act as a roadmap to give students clear expectations and define learning outcomes. You can redesign a course you've taught previously and add a travel component, or you can create an entirely new one. But before you work on your syllabus, it's important that you have departmental support for your course. You also need to understand your own college's policies and procedures about study abroad courses. Who is allowed to run a study abroad program from your college? Will this count as part of your normal teaching load? If not, will you be compensated for teaching additional courses? Know beforehand if your college has a maximum enrollment to run the course. This can influence how you recruit students. Reach out to faculty members who have led programs before. Don't limit yourself to just your college's faculty. Study abroad faculty leaders across campus can offer valuable insight into program logistics. And you want to reach a variety of disciplines and majors by making sure the course content isn't too narrowly specialized. If a certain knowledge base is required for your course and by default limits majors and/or prerequisites, make sure individual students in your class have an opportunity to pursue an assignment or project in line with their own interests related to the course topic. Please continue to part 2 for the rest of this presentation. Like students, you may be wondering, but what is all this going to cost? Who will pay for it? Are there scholarships available to my students? Let's discuss the financial aspects of study abroad. When creating a budget for your program, it's important to strike a balance. You don't want your budget to be so tight that it can't account for eventual unexpected costs, but you also don't want your budget so bloated students can't afford it. Think about what will and will not be included in the program fee. Typically lodging, transportation for program-related excursions, and sometimes airfare is included. How many meals, if any, will be included in the budget? Are there certain classroom materials that need to be included? What about entrance fees for sites while traveling? Don't forget to include your own leader costs as well. As you take these financial needs into consideration, also keep in mind the longer your program and the more countries that you go to, the more expensive your overall program fee is going to be. If multiple destinations or the longer length of the program is warranted, that's okay. Just have a plan in place as you recruit, knowing that your program may be more expensive than other options. Generally, the more students you have helps to defray costs, but some programs, because of country destination or academic scope, cannot accommodate 20 students, and that's okay too. If your program can accommodate more students, just keep in mind for every 15 students, you need another leader, a faculty or staff member of the university, not a teaching assistant or graduate student. This is what a typical budget may look like for a program. The left-hand column shows student costs, and the right-hand column accounts for faculty expenses. For this program, supporting the cost of 2 faculty and with 10 student participants, the fee is $3,220 per student. This fee would then be charged to each student's account in the term the student registers for the course. For this program, international airfare, in-country transportation, faculty transportation to and from the airport, lodging, remember to budget more for program leaders as they will stay in single rooms, some rooms, meals, faculty per diem, admissions fees, tips, insurance, and fees are all covered under this budget. Or to put it another way, for every student, $1,500 of their program fee is used to pay for their individual flights, and $300 of their program fee is used to pay flight costs of the 2 faculty. If your own department is managing your program's budget, their budget and methods may differ. What you need to include in your program budget may also differ from the sample budget. UC International grants about $800,000 in scholarship dollars a year to students to study abroad. For faculty-led programs, these scholarships are administered through the block grant. Program leaders apply for scholarship funding on behalf of potential students going on their program. This application process allows UC International to know you're serious about leading a program, but also bakes in an incentive for students to participate in your program. It can be helpful in recruiting to advertise these scholarships. Generally, the deadlines for block grants are awarded a year out. So if you intend to lead a Spring Break 2025 program, you would apply for a block grant in spring 2024. There are usually 2 deadlines, so you have 2 opportunities to apply for funding. Just keep in mind, funds may be exhausted in the first round deadline, so it's important to apply early. Please see our website for specific deadlines and dates. If you are interested in leading your own program but want to develop your study abroad leadership skills, UC International offers 2 annual grants to faculty and staff for study abroad professional development. The development grant is funding for faculty to conduct on-site program development. The grant funds your individual travel, accommodation, and some other expenses to travel to your desired location to research hotels, excursion sites, meet with third-party providers and/or collaborators. This is a great grant for research and preparation for your intended program. The mentoring grant pairs you with an already established program. Acting as co-leader, you will travel with a program to learn about the full study abroad process. It's a great way to get your feet wet under the tutelage of an experienced study abroad leader. This grant covers most, if not all, of your costs related to the program so that your participation doesn't raise the program fee for students traveling with you. Applying for a development grant and/or mentoring grant is not mandatory to run a program, but it does bolster your subsequent block grant application, and more importantly, better prepares you to better design and execute your intended program. Now that we've touched base on logistics and the financials of study abroad programs, let's talk about student management. Marketing and recruitment will be a critical responsibility of study abroad leaders. Thoughtful and intentional recruiting can mean the difference between a program running successfully and canceling because of too few applications. Program leaders have successfully recruited with flyers, information sessions, directly reaching out to students who'd benefit from your program, tabling at the annual study abroad fair, and more. You are the best recruiter for your own program and better understand what works to get student attention in your particular department. Get creative about how you reach out to students and be knowledgeable about the study abroad process so you can accurately answer their questions and help them decide if your program is right for them. I hope you now have a broad overview of what takes place at UC to make faculty-led study abroad programs successful. This presentation is not exhaustive, but hopefully it will have piqued your interest to lead a program even more than before. A successful program requires communication, steady work, and support from members all over our campus. Because of dedication from faculty and staff like you, UC is able to offer such dynamic programming that allows our students to see the world.